first, okay? So that's a director going, and a good one will be able to do this, but not all of them can. So you wanna ask more questions if you needed to, but she didn't have to because she got it. Then I went like bougie, like Scottsdale, like North Scottsdale, better than you. Like I got really specific with it, which was me as the director letting you know exactly what I want. And then once that clicked, you can lean even more into that and into what you see that is, because it's me saying like, hey, I want to see it fully this way. And then you want to bring me exactly what I was hoping for to the best of your ability. Good job. Excuse me. Silver, her audition. Good job with the pausing. That's an example, feeding off that last one, of really hearing the direction and where we're trying to take it and being able to process it and put it in. That being said, you can also look at her pacing in the first one even and see how it was paced out in a way, especially with a shorter one like that, that all the pieces became still very important, and the pauses in between was very natural for the pacing. For an audition like that, especially when you get those shorter scripts, right? Especially one like that, you can really connect deeper on the in-betweens. Great. Jay, I left the room for Jay's audition on purpose. Sometimes things like that happen. It can be very easy to let that get to you. Be careful about stuff like that. Jay, you did a great job of not doing that. But literally, I just left, right? And so it's like, he's not going to see me. Like, all these thoughts could start to get to you. But especially in this world too, like if you got a good casting go, you got a good team, it's like the wheels are going. So both people don't need to be in the room the whole time. Sometimes we kind of like tag team it and miss things. And throughout the day, there were people going in and out. And so that's something to be aware of. Cool. Felicitas, you made a mistake that everyone could see in the beginning, but then you powered through. You recentered yourself, smiled, and get right back in it, and you finished, and that's totally commendable. That's exactly what you should do. And then you almost always are going to get that second take, but if you don't, most of the time they're going to see the fact that you did that, and that's going to do well for you. So good reference there for everybody to see. Jolene was, let's see, love the jump. So basically I was trying to get more out of you, more energy, and like I want you to hear that direction. If you're in the audition room, guys, you got to hear that. What I'm trying to get here is we've got safe, give me big, give me more. Like, and you took the direction into the jump, and it was very creative and good. Let's see. Amanda, I threw at you on purpose. I made it hard to say, I think it was Amanda who came after Jolene. Double check real quick. Make sure I'm right. Yeah. Amanda, I was screwing with you on purpose when I said, because someone might say something this crash and this like direct. They said, can you do that again without messing up? Which words like that can really sting and can become very hard to battle back from it. And I think that's where you got more fumbled up. And the next one a little bit was like, you heard the messing up and took it personal. Remember, don't take it personal. Some people even just talk like that, right? Brittany, nice shift. Come in and let the room, ground yourself in the room. Try and get better at grounding yourself in the room. Once you were more grounded, it was so much better, and you took direction great. Everyone can take a note how I gave Brittany the direction. She's bam, went with it, and she went with it exactly how I pictured it in my mind, okay? So we got to be very intentional. A lot of these are this way, with hearing the director and trying to understand as quickly as possible, why are they changing what they're changing here, so that I can bring them exactly what they want. Okay, Mandy, really good. Do you know what I mean? Okay, I asked, do you know what I mean? And we answered with, I think so, kind of unsure, okay? Instead, if you don't know, just ask. Just go, or ask for clarification, or state what you think. So I believe you're saying blank. That's a great way to handle that. All right, Jack, we missed the ace at the beginning, and then you handled that swimmingly, right? The note here for everybody is that you don't get to know if I'm going to delete it or not. That would almost never happen. I might say it, but most people wouldn't tell you. But you can assume that would probably be the case, and either way, don't let it influence the rest of your decisions, just like you didn't, but I wanted to say that out loud because that's the reference point for Jax there. for everybody. Okay, speeding through. Angela, I called you out on your slate, and you let it get to you a little bit, and then when I asked about your approach, you started judging yourself, and you said, I was a little nervous, and talked into that a little bit. But wipe that from your mind. Even if you were, don't say that. Don't say the nervous word inside of there. So avoid that if at all possible for everybody. Christian Smith, so the swaying, watch your swaying. The swaying was distracting. You'll see exactly what I mean. And from the director's side, you'll see how it pulls from our ability to connect to you. Let's see. Okay, so we got a great first time take on yours, Sherry Hayes. And so then I'm making adjustments because of that, and we got like in our head a little bit with the mistake you made. That's a great example. As soon as that happens, breathe through it and get on the other side. How do you get on the other side in something like that? You have to realize that these things happen. Mistakes happen with lines and different things. If you start thinking about the mistake and how you don't want to make it again, that actually gives it too much breath, gives it too much air. And then what you're going to do is every time you're going to mess up on that line because you're like almost anticipating getting to that mess up point and you don't want to mess up. And by doing that, you're going to mess up. So instead, when you're making mistakes, just if you got to quickly do a shake off, that's great. Do that because through your shake off, that's how you got back to a more grounded performance. And that's for everybody. All right, Brian, the ball line, we were just setting that up, man. It was great. So, I'd see this and I go, okay, you're bringing this to life. Now here's what I want here to bring to life at this point, and you got it. So then at the end, make sure to keep it nice and slow for the last bit once we added the new things to the beginning. Roma, gotta have more confidence in your slate. Gotta have more confidence in your slate, and know the order. Practice the order every single time before you go. That's what your lesson there was. You made excuses about getting it last second. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's clear. You got it in your hands. And facts, I know that. Duh. I, gave it to you in that moment. And so I love that you were just like, oh, I forgot the accent, but don't just beat yourself up about it so much. It's more just like, actually, I completely forgot an accent. Do you mind if I do it again with this? I think it's going to make a big difference. Boom. If I've got the time, I'll make it happen. If I don't, I won't. And don't take it personally if that's the case. Kevin, you can talk to me at the beginning. So we weren't rolling on the slate or anything like that. So you can even if it's just a connection point where you look over for a second back to camera, that's allowed. That's totally fine. It's once we're on the camera, once we're slating to it, it's at that point where we would keep our eye line and your focus, which your focus was on point, bro. And then the end, I was looking for, so you can look to hear it better. I wanted it to get crazier towards the end. You did great with the build, but you didn't build to that full crazy that comes with an energy drink. And that's a hard thing to read, but I want you to try and get better at reading things like that and making bigger choices, especially if they say, that good one's really good and we want to build the boldness, okay? Rodolfo, I also stepped out for yours, okay? Similar style, just to mess with you a little bit, and to realize, that does happen for everybody. People step out. Don't panic. It's nothing against you. Good. Braden, got to believe those moments more, especially when you're really imagining something out, and always imagine out if you can. It's not that you can't look over that way, but it's like that side profile is never going to be as good as just making a choice to look out a little over so that we see your face better. Remember, for these auditions, always find ways to naturally, this is why it takes practice, cheat to the camera. Matt, cold read was great. It's good to see you back in the studio, buddy. Everyone's lesson from that is when you do a cold read, reading it is never a good choice when you're stuck with your head down like this. So it's better to have a little bit of a slower pacing between it and literally come up and deliver it connected to the camera. Or next to the camera if you're not looking in the camera, but still connected. Reading is just not, we're not going to get out of you what we could. Mel, remember to have patience, okay? It's a shorter one especially. I'd love to see lengthen it personally from the writing perspective. But because it's shorter, you want to have way more patience than you would ever imagine so that you still fill that spot time. Good. Leila Hadass, on Jamba Juice, this is just a general note, but like, so I know we gave that one to you and you worked it, but if you were going to do a commercial like that, and this happens all the time, believe it or not. If you're auditioning for something, you got to study it and you should believe in it to the level that you would like to represent it. Okay? If you actually don't like it literally, then you're probably not the best person to audition for it. And you should allow the spot to go to somebody who might be, right? Because again, these commercial campaigns, they're very expensive. They take a lot out of everybody. And so to be able to do that makes a big difference, to stand behind something. And again, you don't need to be passionate about it or anything like that. So know the things that you care about. And so like, and down to this is just a mini lesson on this. Like if you don't know something at all, research it before you go in, right? This will happen with certain things like there was one for like clean election stuff and people did not know even what they were talking about. And so that was their improv question was that, it dealt directly with the company itself and most people are like, oh, I don't really know what it is. It's like, well, you're auditioning for it, so you probably should. So do your research on that. And I love the honesty in a sense, so way to go with that, but it's just like, that's just a general note for that kind of thing. You don't want to take the spot away from somebody who might be a better fit in that way. Great, Cody. Good follow through when you made that mistake in the beginning. That's a great example of how mistakes in audition rooms and in other places, if you stay connected, can actually become a great thing that could even change the way a script is done or the way lines are done inside of a script. So great work, everybody, tonight. And those were a little long ending video, but I wanted to make sure you guys got out of here. So, but these were all things that were very, very great things I noticed, and hopefully that this video can help you connect deeper in for your next audition that you do. Get out there, keep working, enjoy your 3-week break, and we'll see you back soon.